So a few Saturdays ago, I got to see Avengers again because my sister hadn't seen it yet, and on that same Saturday we saw Mad Max Fury Road. Now that was an epic Saturday. Mad Max is back, and this time he's being played by Tom Hardy, which is a pretty good choice. I really liked him as Mad Max in this film. Now, I have not seen all three of the original Mad Max films. I still have to see Thunderdome sometime, but out of the first two, Road Warrior is easily the best. Now, even though I love the Road Warrior a lot, I gotta say, it has some competition with Fury Road. Fury Road just might be my favorite Mad Max film now. It is epic. So just like the other two Mad Max films, the plot is pretty simple. Basically, at the beginning of the film, Mad Max gets captured by these crazy people, and these crazy people have this society where they all worship this one guy as a deity, practically. This one guy controls the water. He has all the power in this area, and all the civilians do what he wants. And this ruthless ruler has 5 wives who've had enough. They don't really want to be his sex slaves, basically. So basically, he's just using them to make offspring so that he can have a successor, basically. And a perfect successor. Because in this world, there's a lot more mutants, and there's a lot of people that are just mutated, gross, sick, and it's because of possibly nuclear fallout, I'm guessing. But anyway, one of his top lieutenants, played by Charlize Theron, takes the wives and makes it look like she's just going on another run to get fuel, because fuel and water are the basic and the most important things in this world. But she veers off to the left and she runs away with these wives to bring them to a land that she grew up in before she had been taken and forced into this crazy society. And Mad Max just sort of falls into this dilemma and ends up having to help the ladies escape. And it is intense action. It's almost non-stop action for 2 hours. It is incredible. Now, when I say it's non-stop action, it's mostly chase scenes, and there's enough variety that it never gets boring. It's clear that the filmmakers tried to make as many practical effects as possible. I looked online, apparently it's close to 80% of the stunts were all really stunts and practical effects. There wasn't as much CGI as the trailer makes it out to be. And because of that, the CGI is actually pretty seamless, to the point where it feels like it doesn't feel like CGI sometimes. Obviously, there are times where it's obvious, like the tornado that you see in the trailer and the people getting flung from the cars. But they blend really well together. It's almost like Interstellar, how well the CGI blended in Interstellar. It's almost like that. There's only one time where the CGI was really bad, and it was only because it was clearly trying to do a 3D imitation with things coming at the screen. I think you'll know it when you see it, but the action, the destruction, the mayhem, it is incredible. There's a lot of wide shots. There's a lot of things that feel very artistic. Some of the destruction and chaos, it's almost like a dance. It's almost like there's beauty in this absolute chaos and mayhem and destruction. It never feels mindless. It absolutely feels amazing. Now, I get it, the plot is pretty bare. A lot of people complain all it is a 2-hour-long chase scene, and they're almost right. I mean, obviously there's 30 minutes or so before the chase even happens, and from then on, it pretty much is a chase scene with them getting away, something happening to the truck so that they have to stop or repair, and them catching up, and so we get more action, them getting away, so on and so forth. But there's enough variety, and there's enough variety in the vehicles, the gangs. That's what's really awesome. It was very clear what gangs each of these vehicles represented. There was this gang where they had these dune buggies that were almost like porcupines. They had spikes running all along it. And then there's this gang that holds this valley, and they ride motorcycles the whole time, throwing bombs and Molotovs. And no matter how many cars were thrown in the movie, you never get lost. You never feel like it's too overwhelming. At least I didn't. And yeah, those complaining that it is a simple plot, well, the other ones were too. And it's not just mindless action throughout the whole film. There actually is some legitimate heart and some good storytelling in the mix of all this destruction. There are some breathing times, and there are some moments where you can get a little bit more backstory and a little bit of character development. It might be a little simpler than most movies, but at the same time there is something very genuine about this entire movie, and there's something very heartfelt about a lot of the characters. Another complaint that some people tend to have is that Charlize Theron is the main character and Mad Max is just sort of a sidekick. But I never really saw that. There's enough that Mad Max does that it feels like, yeah, he's a main character, but at the same time, Charlize Theron is a main character, and even Nicholas Hoult is a main character. I feel that if you look at just either of those people's perspectives, you'll realize, that person's the main character. No, maybe that one is. They all feel like a main character, so basically it feels like three stories all converging into one. One of the things that Mad Max films are always able to do is make some really interesting, bizarre, crazy characters, and this is no exception. There is plenty of characters that are very intriguing, characters you really want to know more about, and just characters that just have such a great personality that you can't help but either love or hate them. I think everyone in the film did wonderfully well, and I think all the actors were perfect for the role. Nicholas Hoult probably played one of my favorite characters in this entire movie, and I thought he was fantastic. Charlize Theron was a badass and amazing, and Tom Hardy is excellent as well. I love how they brought back an actor from the first Mad Max film and made him the evil villain in this one. I mean, it's Toe Cutter, and he was perfect for this film. He was perfect for the role as well. Honestly, there's nothing I hated about this film. I loved every second of it. I thought it was one of the best experiences I had in a movie theater. I think one of the flaws I had was basically it was a little harder to understand or at least hear what the characters were saying at the beginning of the film. But I think that's my theater's fault, because I've had problems in that theater before where I can't hear dialogue but I can hear everything else. But then I'll see it in a different theater and it's completely fine. So I think that's the theater's fault and not the actual movie's fault. So I'm not going to knock points off for that. But I think this is an excellent film. It's completely epic. It's badass. It is a Mad Max film to the T. And I simply think it's a must-see. If you love Mad Max, if you love action films, go see this movie. It is epic, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. I had high expectations for this movie, and I felt that it went above and beyond. So I am obviously going to give Mad Max Fury Road 5 stars. I gotta say, it's my favorite movie this year so far. Ex Machina is a very, very, very close second. And this is my third movie I gave 5 stars to. So have you seen Mad Max Fury Road? What did you think? Go ahead and comment. I have plenty more to say, but this video would be way too long if I said everything. So what did you think about it? If you have not seen Mad Max, then what is your favorite Mad Max movie? How about we go there? Mine would be Fury Road, with Road Warrior a very, very, very close second. Like, I would almost give them I would give them a tie, almost. That's how much I love these two films. And if you liked this review, go ahead and subscribe or check out my 2015 movie reviews. Hopefully by the end of this week I'll have 57, because after this review is done I still have 5 more reviews I have to catch up with, because I've seen 5 movies. Just gotta do a video. As always, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was just my opinion.